dog meat, pal.
Never grow old, Michael.
The blackest eyes, the devil's eyes.
Showtime.
Spring the first blood. Spring the first blood. Spring the first blood. Spring the first blood. Spring the first blood.
Hello, everybody. This is David over here at Sinister Scripts, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host.
Hello, it's Ryan.
Hello, everybody. So, this is our first episode for September. We decided to go ahead and pick a theme, and it was kind of possession. Then it got to religious, so it's kind of religious / possession horror. Your favorite.
I hate it so much.
I hear it's one of your faves. All right, guys. So you can find us on Facebook and Instagram at Sinister Scripts and TikTok at Sinister Scripts Podcast, where we have daily horror content.
That's correct.
That is correct. So today we are doing Immaculate, which came out in 2024.
That's right. Sydney Sweeney, religious horror.
That religious whore.
She is a religious whore. I also would just watch her stand in a room. She's beautiful.
You know, like, I keep hearing all that, and then, like, I had no idea who she was, and then when I saw her, I was like, oh, okay. I don't know, okay. I had no idea who the hell she was.
Oh, yeah. I don't remember, did she get her start? Was it, like, Euphoria, maybe? I feel like that TV.
Well, I saw,
was that it?
Yeah, I saw a little tidbit. I'll go ahead and drop it now since I'm thinking of it. That, yeah, after doing that, she used some of that money to secure the rights to this movie, because this movie was actually started to be in development in 2014.
Oh, damn.
It got put into development hell. So.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. So just a few tidbits about this movie I've got pulled up. So we just talked about starred Sydney Sweeney. She also was one of the producers listed, which is pretty cool. Also stars Alvaro Morte, which I don't know if you've watched. Oh God, what is that? Is it Heist? It's on Netflix. It's like a Spanish heist show. And he was like the mastermind behind that. He was the dude who got the spike in the neck towards the end.
Oh,
Spoiler alert.
yeah.
We'll get to that though. But yeah, he was the father or whatever his name was. Father Sal, I think.
Possibly, yeah.
Anyway,
We're so prepared.
This has a running time of 89 minutes. They had a $9 million budget and box office was $28.5 million. So
hey, she got her money back.
Yeah. I mean, I think it was kind of, I didn't know what to think of this movie. Like I saw, like this one and the First Omen, I feel like came out like in competition with each other.
Exactly.
And I had no desire to see either of them. So, so when they came to whatever Peacock or whatever it was streaming on, or Hulu, I was like, all right, I'll watch those eventually. And I watched the First Omen first, and then Immaculate second. And I liked Immaculate better. I both feel like they belong in a dumpster at the end of the day. But I'm salty. I'm watching my favorite college team get fucking demolished on TV right now.
The Gators are losing, so that's why Ryan hates these movies.
I hate everything right now. God damn it. Well, let's get into the movie. Let's start with going through the plot. We'll stop about halfway through. I can get us kicked off with the beginning set of scenes.
Yeah.
So this movie opens with Sister Mary, who is sneaking into what is she called? The head nun, Mother Superior? I don't know.
Oh, the head nun?
Yeah.
I think it's
Mother Superior is what they called her.
Something like that.
Anyway, sneaking into her bedroom at night to steal a ring of keys in order to escape from this Catholic convent. She's trying to get through, and behind her, there's these 4 hooded figures that appear, and they capture her. She almost gets away, but they grab her leg, pull it back through the fence, and then snap it.
Fucking
break her leg, which is pretty gnarly. I thought it was kind of cool.
Yeah, it's a good way to start up a movie.
Yeah, it looks good. And then they knock her unconscious, and when she wakes up, she is inside of a coffin and being buried alive. So that's kind of our soft intro. Which I was actually okay with. I was like, all right.
Like some shit's going to go down at this place.
Yeah,
obviously.
And then they're like, the next 58 minutes are going to be completely fucking boring. So we fast forward a little bit to young sister Cecilia, which is Sydney Sweeney, who has turned to Christianity really young after she survived falling through a frozen lake.
Yeah, wasn't she like technically dead for
like 7 minutes or something 8 minutes? Well, yeah, she was
dead. Such a heavenly number.
Yeah, exactly. So she is convinced that God saved her life for a purpose, and so she gets an invitation from Father Sal to join a convent in Italy that tends to dying nuns. So nuns that are like terminally ill and just
Yeah,
I guess
ready to meet their guy.
there. Spoiler alert: there's no one fucking there. God's not real.
There's no magical carpenter.
So Cecilia decides to take her vows and adhere to the counselings of being a nun.
Ooh.
So she gets decorated with the rosary and goes through all that shit. So that's kind of the first set of scenes. We'll call it that, where there's the intro, and then you've got this like meeting Cecilia as she prepares to go to Italy to join a convent.
Yeah. Well, sounds like fun. What a
So
life.
what do you think about this set of scenes?
I mean, like I said, the beginning was cool. And then, it just kind of was like, la da 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 da. Like, let's get on with what's going on here. Like, I don't really give a fuck about why she's there or who she's helping.
Right. Yeah, I don't care.
I don't
like.
give a fuck.
I thought the whole point was to it's like possession.
Yeah.
Or like
some sort
demons
of
or
demon baby. I was promised demon babies.
I mean, demon babies are coming. But I guess the one scene that we kind of glazed over is whenever she's kind of getting into Italy and like they're looking through her like passport. And all that shit.
Yeah.
And it was like it made me think of like Nazis.
Oh yeah, it did.
Because they're like interrogating her and they're like, "Oh, why are you gonna be a nun? Oh, you're too pretty for that." And they're saying all this shit in Italian.
Yeah,
and like
so
kind of
she can't
like hitting on
understand
her
it.
without her understanding the language.
And wasn't like one kind of being nice to her and the other one was being a condescending
He's like,
prick?
"Oh, what a
It's
shame!
Like good cop, bad
what
cop.
a shame!"
Yeah.
I was like, "Is that Italian? That's more French." Oui, oui.
Yeah.
That's not really Italian.
No.
But, Parmesan? More Parmesan? No.
Jean Parmesan.
So yeah, that scene was kind of weird to me. I was just like, that's kind of creepy. These two
Yeah.
fucking creepy cops like kind of coming on to her.
What? Do we know what year this movie is supposed to take place in?
Was supposed to take place? I don't think it told us that.
Because I know the first Omen, which we'll do another time, that's like in the 70s. Mm-hmm. This one, I don't know if they ever actually said anything.
I mean, I didn't see anything that specifically said like in the year or whatever.
Yeah.
So like, I'm just gonna assume that it's recent, like within the last 5 years.
Probably since they were doing the whole Christian Park
Oh yeah.
DNA shit.
Yeah.
It would make more sense for nower times than
Exactly.
anything else, but we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Exactly. So yeah, this is kind of like setting up the scenes. I thought they did a pretty good job overall of kind of the character development of letting you know who Cecilia is and kind of why she's going to join the covenant. I mean, I get it. Like,
Yeah.
you hear it in like real life with people who have like near-death experiences that are like, "Oh, God saved me for a reason. I have to dedicate my life to God."
to them.
They're dumb,
Yeah.
but they think that.
Yeah, like, oh, I found Jeebus. I got to do everything for him for the rest of my life.
know.
But, to each his own, whatever. As you can tell, Ryan and I aren't very religious.
No, I'm like, hopefully. Are Lynn's parents religious?
Yes.
Okay, hopefully they don't listen to this. They're going to be
yeah.
like, "Y'all married some
Tom
Satanists."
and Levon don't need to be listening.
My mom used to be religious, and then she's like, "All religions are crazy," and I'm like, "I've been trying to tell you for
Right?
so many years." And I grew up Mormon, so like, I feel like that kind of takes the cake.
Did you really?
Yeah, I grew up Mormon.
I mean, I was raised Catholic, and that's equally as fucked up.
Well, a lot of people that are raised Catholic really like, or I won't say like, or are really frightened by like religious horror.
Yeah.
Because I feel like they're like,
because to them, it's like hitting home, like it could come true. Like.
Right, which I mean makes sense, but then like that's why I put it on a little TikTok today. I'm like, God's not real. I said, hopefully Levon doesn't listen to this.
Yeah.
She's gonna be like, you and Melissa married some Satanists.
Yeah.
Because we're talking about how we think it's all nonsense. Sorry, David's wife's over here.
Yeah, she walked by, so.
Yeah.
Well, you know what, Levon, you should, because we
Yeah.
are delightful.
Levon, yeah, you need to hit that subscribe button.
That's right.
Tap that notification.
You try to explain to my mother what a podcast is.
That's fair.
That's fair.
That's
yeah,
fair.
she wouldn't know what a podcast is. So, love you, Levon.
All right, we're getting off track. We were like something happened today.
Yeah, we just kind of. I haven't watched this movie. Like, I watched it like 2 weeks ago, so it's not very fresh in my mind.
It's fresh in my mind with how much hate I have for these movies, but I'm going to continue. So we're going to continue down the plot hole before we like really spiral.
Yeah.
So when Cecilia gets to the convent, she becomes friends with Sister Gwen.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of like strange things. It kind of goes through their day-to-day, like being trained in like nunnery.
Nunnery.
I don't fucking know, man. Like in being a nun, and how do you care for like these old women and like how to fold the sheets and like chop the head off the chicken?
Yeah.
Like,
This is the one where they chop the head off the chicken.
yeah,
That's right,
yeah.
okay.
So, and the one scene that made me laugh really hard was when the one like I'll call her bitch nun. The bitch nun was like trying to teach him how to do it, and she's like, "If the feces is not a normal consistency, alert the doctor right away." And I'm like, "What the fuck?" Like, I am out of this convent.
Yeah, like no thanks. I
yeah,
don't want-
like. Yeah,
Like, she came all the way to Italy to do this. She
Yeah,
could have done this
right.
job back at home.
right. There's weird oldies in America that she could
Right?
have been wiping their asses.
Exactly.
So yeah, that was weird. But as she's like learning how to be a nun and like do her duties as a nun, she starts noticing like all this weird shit that starts going on around the convent. And this is my problem with religious horror is they start seeing this weird shit
Yeah.
and they're just like, huh.
Okay.
Like a fucking demon appears in my room, or
Yeah.
this crazy like senile nun who tried to fucking wait. Was that the different one? Was that the cutting the hair? Was that in First Omen?
Cutting the hair. No, that
That
was
was this one.
That
Okay,
was this
all right. Yeah, like some crazy senile nun with a
Oh,
pair
that's
of
right.
fucking
Yeah.
scissors.
In the middle of the night, cuts
Right.
your hair. Yeah.
Like fuck this shit. Like this is not normal stuff. I
Yeah.
understand like people are senile and people get like what's the word dementia and
yeah.
like they don't know where they are and like I understand this is a real thing. It's a real medical thing, but.
Don't
When
give them
like
access to
when
scissors.
like when exorcist style shit, you're like, oh, like having my nice dinner and the light bulbs are exploding and
Yeah.
you're like getting like writing in blood on walls and shit. I'm like, this isn't every religious horror, and then people are like, totally normal.
Yeah, like, oh, it's Tuesday already?
Like, the fuck is wrong with people? So yeah, she starts seeing all this weird shit. So like the first thing was like, yeah, the senile nun that tried to cut her hair.
Yep.
Then there's I think it's the same old nun. When she puts her back in bed, she notices she has these
Cross
scars
of
on the bottoms
crosses,
of her
yeah.
feet. Yeah, of crosses.
Like she was branded.
Right. So like, huh, that's weird. Like,
Yeah.
Doesn't say any fucking anything.
Right? Doesn't ask anybody, like, hey, what's up with her feet?
And then there was the whole like the holy relic, like the nail that crucified Jesus, and they gave her this
Oh,
whole
yeah.
spiel about how the meek shall inherit the earth and blah blah fucking blah. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
and then she starts having those nightmares where it's like hooded figures and like all this shit. And I'm like, none of this is fucking normal.
You're right, yeah.
None of it.
Get out. Like, whatever. But yeah, with the whole nail, because this is why I was referring it to as a Christian park. It has something to do with that nail. So.
Yeah, we'll come back to the nail. Don't forget the fucking nail that crucified a person that never lived.
Yeah, it was. I'm surprised it wasn't in the cast listing because it.
Yeah,
It's got a pretty big part
It
in this
does. It
movie.
is fairly critical to the storyline, but like, so like we've kind of talked about this. Like, you know, after really, where we go from here is the big reveal. I feel of the movie where Cecilia throws up. She's getting like they're bathing. She throws up. I don't feel well. Goes to the doctor. They run tests, and then they bring her in and with like the cardinal.
Yeah.
That's the red guy, right? Like the
The
bird.
red guy. Yeah, the red guy.
all I think of is fucking the what are those things? The Imperial.
From Star Wars. Yeah, the Emperor's guys.
It's like the fucking they're the big bad guy. They're like the right hand man to the big bad guy. So like that would be like the Pope's right hand
Yeah.
man, the Cardinals. I'm
Right.
just saying, like, you're telling me that this shit is not rooted in evil.
Yeah.
Just saying, here we go. Here
Yeah.
we're gonna be on.
We'll-
We're gonna be on a
we'll-
watch list.
We'll finish the movie. Don't worry, guys.
So they come in. It's like the cardinal, and then I think it's Father Sal, and then like the Mother Superior, and they're like interrogating her, like, hey, "Are you swearing like you're living by the 3 rules you
Yeah,
have?"
like
being,
who have you been fucking and all this
Yeah,
stuff.
like you've been chased, and she's like, "Of course I have," and of course he's like, "Oh, the doctor was like, I examined her when she got here. Her hymen was intact." I'm like, Jesus fucking
right?
Christ!
Like, yo, buddy.
Yeah, I thought this was just a Q&A. I didn't
Yeah.
realize we were doing a cavity search.
Jesus.
So, and then they find out the big reveal is that
She's pregnant.
she's pregnant.
Yeah.
So,
Hence the grilling.
even though she's a virgin, which is why the church starts freaking out and they're like, "Oh, it's the Savior. He's the chosen one."
Yeah, because she's like Mary, you know.
Yeah.
Oops, I got
exactly.
pregnant, but didn't touch anybody.
Yeah, he's the chosen one, like on Dune.
Yeah.
Al Ghalib, or whatever the fuck his name was.
So
Al Gabagool.
when she threw up, was that the part where she threw up a tooth, or is that later in the movie?
That's later. That's like in her whatever.
That was gross as fuck.
Yeah. I don't like teeth. Teeth are weird.
Yeah. Ugh.
So like here we are, like in this first like third of the movie, I'd say, where it's like, hey, I'm chosen for this. Weird shit happens. I pay no attention to it, and now your dumb
And
ass
now
is
I'm
pregnant.
knocked up.
You see how that went for you?
Yeah.
How'd that work out for you, Cecilia?
Yeah. Stayed your ass
Horribly.
home in Wisconsin or wherever the hell she was from.
Exactly. Was it Wisconsin?
I
She
wanna
like,
say
she
it
looks like
was.
dairy folk. Cheese, like
One
a
of them-
cheesehead. One of the Midwesterners.
One of them dairy folk.
Hey, I can say that. I'm from the Midwest. I'm not a dairy folk. That's further north, but I am
Yeah.
a Midwesterner. I'm more from like meth country.
Meffington.
Yeah. So anyway, all right. So she's pregnant. And so really from here on out, she kind of becomes like this pariah where
She's like a mascot.
yeah, well, all the other nuns hate her because they're like,
because she's the one.
because they're like, you don't have to do any work except take care of that baby. And so all the other nuns are like, well, this bitch doesn't do anything now
Right. She's not
except
even
for walk
senile.
around in her see-through gown,
Right.
tits hanging out.
Yeah, there's a
Like,
lot of that.
Yeah, and I'm like, yo, like, so like I think there's a lot of the like, what's the word I'm looking for? Where they
There's a lot of hate being spread around.
that perfect exactly. They fucking don't like her.
It was like hate. Hate is ball.
Double hate. So another nun, Sister Isabel, she tries to drown Cecilia out of jealousy. And when when they're hauling her off of Cecilia, remember, she's like, it should have been me. It should have been me.
Yeah.
And so Cecilia's like, another time where she's like, hey, what did that mean?
Yeah, what should have been you?
So she starts asking questions, and she's given the whole like, oh, we don't need to go to the doctor. Everything's fine. This doctor fucking Christ over here. he's an OBGYN that like delivers babies throughout the week. You're fine. So basically, like, you're seeing like red flag after red flag after red flag.
Yep.
And I think she's finally at the point now where she's like, I want to go to a hospital. I want to go here. And she continually gets shut down.
Yeah, they make excuses
Right,
for it
so-
to keep her there.
You're finally starting to see her be like, not 100% stupid. Like she was
Finally.
early.
Yeah, like she was the first half.
So right after that, guess who commits suicide? Cecilia.
How did she do it? I don't remember.
Didn't she light herself on? No, that was the other
That was
one.
the omen.
God damn it. No, she jumped off the balcony, remember? Like they all ran out and she like...
Which one are you talking about? Oh, Immaculate?
Sister Isabel. Like,
Oh,
she,
yeah.
She
She
jumped,
jumped
off,
and
she jumped
okay, yeah.
and yeah, she became a pancake.
That's right.
So,
No flare.
right. Yeah, weak.
Unlike the one in the Omen, that one was good. We'll talk about that on that episode, though.
Exactly. So this is at the point where you were talking about where like Cecilia is continuing with her journey of having this kid, this baby, and she starts throwing up her own teeth and her health is starting to get kind of bad. And she wants to go to a proper hospital because she gets denied, saying we have the finest, blah, blah, blah. Like everything is looking bad for her of ever getting out of here. Like you pregnant, you ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, you ain't going
Like,
nowhere.
So this is when her friend Gwen decides to like yell out in the courtyard.
Yeah, she struts her shit.
Like
and
chastises the covenant and says that this is an abomination and like they shouldn't be treating her this way and fuck all of them, and then they haul her ass out real quick.
Yeah, they did.
They're like, you're done here.
You're done, bitch.
And so yeah, that's kind of like they haul her off, and
Yeah, she like tries, or she's walking around something or other. She ends up like finding her because she hears a woman screaming or whatever.
well, Cecilia, remember she's sitting in her room and a picture on the wall, like the chain falls off and she sees that there's something written on the wall behind the picture.
Yeah.
And it was 2 Corinthians 11:14, which was written behind the Virgin Mary picture on the wall.
Yeah.
And so she goes to the Bible, looks it up, she reads, she ends up finding her file. Remember, she like ends up breaking into the office of
Yeah.
I don't know, the head church people, and like steals her file, and they have all this information about her childhood accident. Like they knew everything about
Yeah.
her. And so
They
she
were
starts to
scoping her
realize that like she was targeted from like a very young age.
Yeah.
That's when she's in that room is when she hears the screaming.
That's right.
And she kind of wanders out to the courtyard, looks through the keyhole of a door, and sees Gwen.
friend Gwen, yeah, getting her tongue cut off. Ugh.
Getting tortured. Yeah. So right in front of, like, I mean, kind of has to be in front of your face based on where your tongue is, but like,
Yeah.
can you
Yeah, the
imagine?
thing with that's like that creeps me the fuck out.
Don't
Like,
you have your tongue pierced?
I used to.
Okay, I was like, I was gonna say like, okay, yeah, I couldn't
Used
do that.
to.
That's
Well,
the
that's
same thing
different.
almost. I mean, it's not still
that's
there,
just jamming like a really long needle through your tongue versus
which
them.
sounds great.
Well, it's better than them like with
Better than
pliers,
Prince Albert. Fine.
with pliers pulling your tongue out and got some like rusty old garden shears or garden clippers, and then
Yeah.
and did they kill her too?
Maybe.
Which I was like, why'd you have to cut off her tongue?
You know what? I don't. Oh wait, did she find her down in the catacombs later? I think.
Yeah.
But can we talk about this fact that like all of these movies like that happen in convents? Is it convent?
Convoy.
Okay, convent. Okay, whatever. All like, it's all a bunch of old bitches.
Yes.
Why can no one overpower these old biddies?
I don't know. I mean, half of them are fucking delusional anyways.
They're delusional. They're old. Like you're telling me that like a
can't
young
throw some
like a
fisticuffs?
young woman that's like trying to protect her baby and is in like full on mama bear mode couldn't
Yeah.
beast mode these bitches.
Right?
I don't understand it.
I don't.
I never have understood it. They're like,
It's like that Stockholm syndrome thing.
yes, it's like they want to be prisoners.
Yeah, they enjoy it.
Man, church is weird.
To say the least.
All right, so we're at finally where this movie picks up.
Yes.
Where Cecilia is, they come into her room, she's screaming in the morning, and she's covered in blood.
Yeah.
And she's like, take me to the hospital. And they come, like, they throw her in the car. They're driving her to the
leave.
hospital. And then the one nun goes in, which was really weird because she like starts smothering the bloody sheets on her face.
Yeah, that was fucking weird.
But then notices that it is a chicken head. She cut the head off a chicken, and it's chicken blood.
Chicken blood.
So she faked the miscarriage, and then of course she calls the father Sal or whatever his name is.
Yeah, they're in the car driving.
And she hops out, tries to run away. They catch her ass and bring her back. So they find out that she's like. So now it's like full on. She knows something's up. They know she knows, and like she's not going
and
anywhere.
Nothing good is not going to come at all.
Right, nothing good can come of this.
She has like no privileges now. She'll be locked in her room.
Yeah. So the Father Sal, he is a doctor though. Actually, it works out.
Yeah. See.
He explains that he was a geneticist before he was a priest, and that they used DNA samples taken from the holy nail to impregnate nuns to bring on the new Messiah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Christian Park.
You're right. It's like Jurassic Park, but for Jesus folk.
Yeah. Which,
Like-
I mean, I do kind of like that, though. That is kind of a fun little...
But let's talk about the fact that, like...
as stupid as it is.
Let's talk about the fact that in a crime in the United States,
Yeah.
over a certain amount of time, DNA
Deteriorates. Yeah.
So you're telling me that Jesus Christ, if he existed, they pulled blood and bone tissue off of the spike that put him up on the cross.
Yeah.
And they used, like, how long ago was this supposedly? Thousands of years?
Something like that,
Like,
yeah.
come on.
But maybe his blood was magical, like dinosaur blood.
Dino DNA.
Mr. DNA.
Remember they had the little Mr.
Little
fucking DNA?
squiggly guy?
Yeah. Dino DNA.
That's what this movie was missing. They needed a Mr. DNA.
Jesus DNA. Bingo. We need like a little cartoon man and like explaining it on the screen to her. And she's like, oh, okay. Jesus Christ. Okay. Well, literally. All right. So they're trying to birth the new Messiah. So
Yeah.
that's it. That's like the big reveal where Cecilia, before her, there were numerous failed attempts. So they had all these like jars full of like these
deformed
monstrosities.
Yeah, it was like
that-
alien resurrection.
Yeah, that like died during birth, or after birth. And so I don't even know what to say. So after this whole thing, they're like, now that you know, you can't leave. So they hold her down and they burn the crosses on her feet like the old lady nun.
Like the old lady. Oh, that would suck. Like,
You
imagine
couldn't-
healing from that.
Yeah, there's no way you could walk.
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
can't
which is
walk.
why she was
In a wheel-
slow
yeah.
later. But so basically they burn her feet, they lock her up, and it's like the symbol of like a lot of the other nuns have had. So that makes it's kind of interesting.
So
'cause
maybe
it's like,
they were also used for
this
this as
convent
well.
was not for like dying nuns. This convent was basically taking care of all the failed experiments.
Yeah.
From
and
previously.
maybe like they were like giving them lobotomies or some shit to make them so they can't talk or anything.
Right. Well, that's why the one nun, when she saw her friend being tortured, her tongue being cut off,
Yeah.
that one nun showed up behind her, remember, and was like, "You'll never leave this place."
Yeah, that's right.
So I think this is like, now that it's quote unquote worked because she's pregnant with a healthy baby.
Yeah. Which was it like a quick pregnancy? Like is it one of those where it's like 3 months later? Okay. I couldn't
They
remember.
did a SpongeBob. They were like, yes, third trimester.
Yeah.
Here we are. Yeah. So Cecilia tries to escape again. And this part was kind of cool. This was probably my favorite part of the movie.
This is when it definitely ramped up.
She beat the fuck out of Mother Superior with a crucifix.
Hell yeah.
Like,
She bashed her fucking face in, dude.
like hamburger meat.
Yeah.
Ground chuck. It was a hot mess. Like I was like, it was one of those, and they didn't shy away from it either. It wasn't quite as bad as old boy got it on what's the one? History of Violence.
Oh,
like the
God,
7-minute beatdown scene. It wasn't quite as bad as that, but it was like a good 15 seconds of just face
smashing. That's where that $9 million went.
It looked good though.
It did look good.
So she beats the piss out of Mother Superior, and then she escapes. And right when she's getting ready to escape, like her water breaks, and she was like, "Fuck." That was kind of funny. I was like, that would have been my exact reaction.
Yeah,
like, son of a
God
bitch.
damn it.
Like, baby, now you choose to now is the
Not
time.
a good time, baby.
Right. So she ends up strangling the cardinal with his own rosary beads, which was dope.
Yeah, that was
I was like,
dope
yes,
shit.
like she's just kill it. Like she's like, I've
She
had
needed
enough.
she needed some action phrases, especially after that one. You know,
she needed she went full mom bear mode. Was like, all right, everyone dying. I'm getting out of here.
Yeah.
So and then she goes into the lab and she douses it with gasoline, and the Father Sal arrives, tries to stop her, but she gets away and gets out the door.
Yeah.
Drops the lighter. Lab goes up in flames.
Yeah, because there was so much that it was leaking under the door, and that's how she lit it.
Exactly. So she's on the outside, locked the door, drops the lighter. It goes up in flames, and you think that that's it, but douchebag Father Sal just finds a fucking fire extinguisher because you hear it.
But I mean, one extinguisher is not enough to take care of that room. That room was in flames.
I mean, it was serious. Yeah, I mean, maybe it was just.
Maybe it had like
one
one of those like sprinkler things too. You know.
I don't know, but he gets out, extinguishes the flames,
Burnt
breaks down the door like fucking Kool-Aid Man.
Right.
Like
because the door lands on her, doesn't it?
Right. Or like next to her. Yeah,
Or
maybe something. I don't know. But anyway, he Kool-Aid Man's the door. And then she flees into the catacombs that are underneath the convent. And that's where she finds Gwen.
Her dead body.
And her mutilated
Which is like,
body.
you guys killed her. Why'd you have to cut off her tongue, man? That's just mean.
Yeah, it seems kind of like a waste of time.
Yeah. Like, damn.
You could have been like, just cut her throat.
Catholics are hard fucking core, dude.
Yeah. That's because they're sadists.
You think if they had like some brass knucks that were in the shape of a cross?
Wasn't that on a movie? I thought that was on a zombie. Was it on the Velocipaster or something?
Oh yeah, maybe. I don't know, but yeah, that's definitely from a movie. Now that I'm thinking about it, but that seems like something they would have.
It does.
Or maybe it was The Simpsons. I don't know.
It does. So she's fleeing through the catacombs at this point, and she notices a small like hole or window to the outside eventually.
Yeah, because it was dark as fuck. She had like a little lantern, and the whole time the guy's like yelling at her. He's like, "Where are you?" And she's freaking out.
Exactly. So she goes and tries to go out, crawl out. He, of course, shows up, pulls her back in, and attempts to use a scalpel.
He was fucking cutting her stomach, dude.
Oh yeah. First of all, he's burnt to a crisp. He's
like
crispy.
Two-Face.
He's crispy, and he tries to cut the baby out of her. So he's doing a little bit of damage.
Yeah.
And then she has the Jesus spike,
nail.
the Jesus nail, and she stabs him in the neck.
Buddy Christ nail.
And he is extinguished. So she gets out, she escapes, exits the catacombs, and she goes through this birth scene and bites through the umbilical cord like a fucking boss.
So gross,
I was like, yo.
Like, this bitch is done.
Like, that looks like a beef stick. Like, what are y'all? She was going to town.
Like a wet fucking beef jerky.
Yeah.
Like, what are those things called? Snap into a Slim Jim?
Yeah, it's right. Yeah. Like a soggy Slim Jim.
Soggy Slim Jim.
So at this point, she is like terrified at the sight of this baby, and it's making like these weird, like animalistic, gurgling
creepy
noises.
Not a normal baby noise.
And she stumbles away, grabs a giant ass rock, goes to crush it to death, and it's like cut to black.
Fade to black.
So
she killed it.
Probably. That's my. Yeah. I mean, she was on a mission to like not have that.
Well, I
baby.
mean, it obviously was not. It had to have been some sort of fucking weird deformity.
I know, but I wanted to see it.
I do too.
I wanted to see the baby. I'm
really
like, is this?
wanted to.
Yeah, like, is is this just like a demon baby? Does he have little horns? Is he like just
Which, why
deformed?
would it even be a demon baby now that I'm thinking about it?
Or sorry, I'm getting the other one mixed up. Is it is it
it would be like a Jesus baby.
right, but it's
Like
got to
with
be
the beard
If she was that horrified, it's got to be like deformed and like didn't work. Like it
Yeah,
worked
it had to
and
have been
it was
deformed.
deformed and messed up, and because it was like a corrupt. It was like not like this
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
not
I mean,
how you-
imagine if that kid survived and like that's your kid you raised, and like every day you have to be reminded of the hell that you went through
how Jesus got you pregnant.
and how Jesus finger banged you.
Like that was the other thing they didn't really explain. They were just like, oh, like how did this all go down?
Yeah, did they ever? I can't remember this. So
Like
so
she had some dreams that she was like held down by nuns, so maybe the dreams were like
So,
kind of
like-
real. And didn't she say she had a little bit too much wine to drink the one night? Remember?
I think that was
So,
supposed
like,
to be it. Yeah.
But I'm like, was
She's
this
probably
like,
drugged?
Right, but I'm like, is this like a turkey baster situation we're talking here?
So like, these Catholics date raped her then?
yes,
is what they're trying to sell us.
100%.
Jesus Christ,
I'm not surprised.
it's fucked up.
Anyway,
Anyways, that's the movie.
that's the movie. So essentially, this whole movie the premise was Jurassic Park trying to play God.
Yep.
Trying to literally like birth your own Messiah to like, because people are going away from the church, blah, 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 fucking blah.
Yeah.
And she wasn't having any of it. And good for her for like being like, this
Stepping it
baby's
up.
an abomination.
Fuck it. And
My
everything
body,
here.
my choice.
Exactly.
So, hell yeah. Now, with that being said, as much as I've shit on this movie
It
for
wasn't
the
that
past,
bad. It wasn't that bad.
I think that we watched 3 movies for this month of September. We watched Immaculate,
yes.
we watched
Nefarious,
Nefarious, and we watched
First Omen.
The First Omen. Of those 3,
Mm-hmm.
this was my favorite.
More than Nefarious?
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought it was an easier watch. Like Nefarious, I feel like I had to like, I was really like had to pay attention and I had to keep pausing it to
Yeah,
like
that's true.
kind of go back and be like, okay, like it was just, I had to focus more.
Yeah. No, I get you.
But this one I felt like was more like an easier watch. Like it kind of the pacing was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And overall, I thought that like it looked really good. I thought Sydney Sweeney did a good job. And like
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people are like, oh, she's just hot. And I'm like, well, she's pretty good. Like she's a
Yeah,
pretty good
she's got
actress,
some
I think.
chops. She's got some acting
So
chops.
overall, I think I give this one like a 5.5.
Yeah, I'd say that too. Yeah, 5.5. Like
5.5 is I think
it's
more than
worth
fair.
watching. There's
Right.
no reason not to watch it.
Exactly. So,
I mean, I wouldn't be like, oh, I got to watch this movie once every 2 years
right.
situation.
No,
Yeah.
it's not like a cult classic or anything.
won't buy
I don't
it.
think you put it up there with like some of the original like Exorcist, like shit like that. Like that's
Yeah.
like original like religious horror. Like
Or
those
Omen
are
and stuff,
right.
yeah.
Like some of those are like OG classics that people watch every year. I don't think this falls there, but I do think this is an interesting twist. I hadn't seen one like this that
Yeah.
was the twist of the movie or that was the premise of the movie. So
Exactly. Like it wasn't like a demon or antichrist or any of that kind of stuff.
Exactly. So yeah, so go out there and check this one out. It's streaming on Hulu right now. You can watch it for free if you have a Hulu.
Yep.
I think overall it's worth a watch. Do it one time. If I would have paid to go see it in theaters, it might have been cool in theaters because of like the
Yeah.
bravado of like the sound and
Yeah.
the imagery was cool.
I
It
think
probably would have been cool in theaters.
It would have been cool, definitely.
But yeah, overall, I think, I guess the one trigger I would say for this movie is like just kind of like violence against women in general. Like, cause
Yep.
they kind of like you said, they kind of date rape this woman. And
Yeah.
then at the end there is violence against an infant. So if those are triggers
Exactly.
for you,
yeah.
maybe
not.
don't watch the movie.
Possibly
But
not.
if you're like me and you don't care,
Because it's a fucking movie.
and because religious horror is terrible,
Yeah.
then I'm just kidding. You should go watch this one. Check it out. I'm interested to see what you guys think. I appreciate you guys tuning in and listening to this fucking rambling mess of an episode. We had fun though. I
Yeah,
like
I
talking
enjoyed
about it. So check us out on social media. Check out our podcast wherever it's carried, which is Apple Music, YouTube Music, Spotify, YouTube Music, iHeartRadio, all your normal spots. If you love the movie, drop us a comment and tell us.
Yeah.
If you love the podcast, I'm so happy.
Thank
if you
you.
don't, go fuck yourself.
Yes.
There's a lot of other podcasts for you to listen to.
Yeah.
All right.
Take your ass down the
So
street.
go watch more religious horror and get on out of here.
That's right.
So thanks for tuning in. We'll be back with some more episodes soon, and we'll talk to y'all later.
Bye.
Bye.
I do wish we could chat longer, but I'm having an old friend for dinner.
Bye.